Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Have you ever struggled with letting go of something important, a relationship, a dream, or a deeply held belief? And what if, by releasing it, you could experience a deeper form of wisdom and freedom? Today, we will explore the profound concept of letting go, a cornerstone of many spiritual traditions, particularly in Buddhism. In this video, we will examine two central themes. First, why letting go is the key to unlocking true wisdom, and second, how you can integrate the practice of releasing attachment into your everyday life to cultivate lasting peace and insight. The first challenge we often face when it comes to letting go is the misconception that it means giving up, abandoning, or neglecting something of value. But in truth, letting go is the opposite. It is a conscious choice to release the attachment to outcomes, the grasping that creates suffering. In the words of the Buddha, attachment is the root of all suffering. To be free, one must learn to loosen the grip of desires and expectations, recognizing that nothing in this world is permanent, including our own desires. Imagine for a moment a small child holding tightly onto a toy that they no longer need. Despite being told it is no longer necessary, the child resists, unable to release it. It's not until the child is guided to open their hand and experience the world without the toy that they discover a new sense of freedom, a fresh joy that had always been there but was obscured by the attachment. In much the same way, we hold on to certain beliefs, desires, and fears, thinking that they define us, that they are necessary for our happiness. However, when we allow ourselves to let go of these attachments, we open up space for something greater: true wisdom, compassion, and inner peace. One of the profound teachings that help us understand this process is the concept of impermanence. Everything in this world is fleeting, constantly changing, and this includes our thoughts, emotions, and situations. When we resist change or try to hold on to things that are meant to pass, we create internal conflict. However, when we embrace impermanence, we can flow with the natural rhythms of life. Instead of clinging to the past or worrying about the future, we can rest in the present moment, fully experiencing life as it is, free from attachment. In the practice of mindfulness, the act of letting go is intimately connected with the awareness of the present. By simply observing our thoughts without judgment, we learn to see them for what they are: transient, passing phenomena that rise and dissolve in the mind. We realize that our thoughts do not define us, and they certainly do not need to control us. Through mindful observation, we can release our attachment to these thoughts, and in doing so, release our attachment to the identities and roles we have constructed over time. The teachings of great masters from various traditions emphasize that letting go does not mean apathy or indifference. Instead, it is a deep, conscious choice to release the mind's grasp on all that is unnecessary and false. When we let go, we are not denying the world or the relationships that matter to us. Rather, we are allowing ourselves to experience these things with greater clarity, compassion, and wisdom. For example, consider the life of the great Zen master, Hokuin. She once encountered a difficult situation with a woman who falsely accused him of something he did not do. At first, Hokuin was upset and tried to defend himself, but he soon realized that his anger was only feeding his attachment to his reputation. In a moment of clarity, she chose to release his attachment to being right, to defending himself, and simply allowed the situation to unfold as it would. The woman eventually confessed that she had been wrong, and Hokuin's peaceful response had shown her the true nature of wisdom. In our own lives, we may face similar challenges, situations where our ego wants to defend itself, hold on, or resist. Yet, when we learn to let go of these attachments, we open the door to a higher form of wisdom, one that is not clouded by pride, anger, or fear. By embracing the present moment and releasing the need for control, we invite peace and insight into our lives. One way to practice this letting go is for the art of meditation. In meditation, we create a space of stillness and presence, allowing thoughts to rise and fade without attaching to them. This practice teaches us the power of observing without interference, of simply letting the thoughts come and go. In the beginning, it may feel challenging, as the mind is used to clinging to thoughts, stories, and worries. But with consistent practice, we begin to realize that we are not our thoughts, we are the awareness that observes them. As we sit in silence, we can start to recognize patterns in our thoughts where we hold on, where we resist, and where we fear letting go. Each time we notice this attachment, we gently bring our attention back to the breath, to the present moment, and allow the thought to dissolve. Over time, this practice cultivates a deep sense of ease and openness. We realize that we don't need to hold on to everything: our opinions, our worries, our plans. Life flows effortlessly when we stop trying to control it and allow it to unfold naturally. The power of letting go is not just limited to meditation, however. It extends to every aspect of life, from our relationships to our career to our health. When we learn to let go of our expectations and attachments to outcomes, we open ourselves up to greater possibilities. We stop trying to force things to happen in a certain way and instead trust that the universe will provide exactly what we need, when we need it. Take the example of someone who has spent years working tirelessly toward a specific goal: a promotion, a dream project, or a personal achievement. At some point, the pursuit of that goal becomes an obsession, and the person's happiness becomes dependent on its success. But when they practice letting go of this attachment, they may discover that there is joy in the journey itself, not just in the destination. By releasing the need for a particular outcome, they create space for new opportunities to arise, ones that are more aligned with their true path and purpose. In relationships, letting go also plays a crucial role. Often, we hold on to people, expectations, or past grievances, thinking that our attachment is a form of love or care. But true love, as the Buddha taught, is not possessive or controlling. When we release the need to change others or hold on to past hurts, we allow relationships to evolve naturally, with kindness and mutual respect. We learn to love without attachment, to give without expectation, and to accept others as they are. As we continue to explore the profound wisdom of letting go, it becomes clear that this practice is not only about releasing attachment to material things or specific outcomes, but it also speaks to a deeper understanding of the nature of the self. When we are attached to our identity, whether it be our role in society, our accomplishments, or the story we tell ourselves about who we are, we begin to trap ourselves in the cycle of ego. The moment we let go of these rigid identities and self-constructed labels, we create space for a more authentic and expansive sense of being. Consider the life of a renowned artist named Miley, whose identity had always been intertwined with her ability to produce beautiful, admired works of art. She had spent years seeking validation from the art world, constantly striving to create masterpieces that would bring her recognition and success. However, after years of struggling with artist's block and increasing frustration, Miley began to realize that her attachment to the idea of herself as a successful artist was what was holding her back. She felt as though she could not be happy unless her work was praised and accepted by others. One day, after completing a painting that she felt was not up to her standards, she sat quietly, contemplating the work and feeling the weight of her expectations. In that moment, Miley experienced a subtle shift. She realized that her attachment to the idea of success in the art world was preventing her from simply enjoying the act of creation. With that understanding, she made a conscious decision to let go of the need for external validation. Miley began to paint for herself, without worrying about the opinions of others. She started to reconnect with the joy and freedom that art had originally brought her, and with this release, her creativity began to flow more effortlessly than ever before. As she let go of her attachment to outcomes, her art became a truer reflection of her inner world, and paradoxically, her work gained even more appreciation from others, not because she was trying to please anyone, but because it came from a place of authenticity and pure expression. In this sense, letting go of attachment to our identities and self-perceptions allows us to return to a place of creative freedom. We begin to see that who we are is not defined by what we do, but by the inherent potential within us to be compassionate, present, and engaged with the world. When we let go of this need to control how others perceive us, we find that life itself opens up new opportunities for us to explore and grow. Our sense of worth becomes anchored in the present moment, in our ability to engage with life from a place of genuine love and connection, rather than from a place of fear or insecurity. One of the most important aspects of letting go is learning to release the past. Often, we hold on to past mistakes, regrets, or unresolved conflicts, believing that we need to carry these burdens in order to learn from them or protect ourselves from future harm. However, holding on to the past can keep us trapped in cycles of suffering. As long as we remain attached to past grievances, we are unable to fully embrace the present moment or the future that is unfolding before us. There's a beautiful story about a monk named Tenzin, who was once plagued by memories of a painful event from his past. He had been deeply hurt by a betrayal from someone close to him, and for years he carried this pain in his heart. Every time he thought about the betrayal, the wounds reopened, and he found it difficult to move on. One day, during a meditation retreat, she was practicing the meditation on loving kindness, when a thought arose: what if I could release this anger, this pain, this resentment? What if I could let go of the past and simply forgive? The thought was powerful, but it was not an easy one to act upon. However, as Tenzin sat with this question, he felt a deep sense of peace wash over him, and she realized that by letting go of the anger he had been holding on to for so long, he was not condoning the betrayal, but freeing himself from the suffering it had caused. He understood that forgiveness was not for the person who had hurt him, it was for his own liberation. By forgiving, he was no longer bound by the past. In that moment, Tenzin experienced a profound shift. He felt lighter, freer, and more open to the present. Letting go of the past allowed him to embrace the future with a heart that was no longer weighed down by regret or resentment. In much the same way, we all have the power to release the past. While it may not always be easy, and while the pain may still arise from time to time, each time we choose to let go, we reclaim our power. We free ourselves from the hold of old stories and outdated identities, and we allow ourselves to step into the flow of life with open arms. Similarly, letting go also means releasing the need for approval from others. For many, the desire to seek validation is a constant source of stress and anxiety. We may find ourselves living for the approval of our family, our friends, or society. This attachment to the opinions of others can keep us stuck in patterns of people-pleasing and self-doubt. However, when we learn to let go of the need for external validation, we free ourselves from the prison of seeking constant approval. Take the example of a young woman named Anna, who had always been that good girl in her family. She strived to meet everyone's expectations, whether it was excelling in school, maintaining a perfect appearance, or being the most agreeable person in every situation. But deep down, Anna felt trapped by the weight of these expectations. She realized that she was living a life dictated by others' desires, not her own. After encountering a wise teacher, Anna began to practice letting go of her attachment to external approval. She started to make decisions based on what felt right for her, not what would please others. At first, it was difficult, as she feared rejection or disapproval. However, as she let go of her need for validation, she discovered a deeper sense of self-worth that was not dependent on anyone else's opinion. Over time, Anna grew into her own power. She learned to trust her instincts, speak her truth, and live her life authentically. By releasing her attachment to approval, she found the freedom to be fully herself, and in doing so, she attracted people who genuinely appreciated her for who she was, rather than who she was trying to be. Letting go of external validation allowed Anna to step into her own power and live a life that was true to her heart. As we let go of the need for approval, we also begin to let go of the fear of failure. When we are no longer attached to the outcome, we can embrace life with a sense of curiosity and joy, knowing that every experience, whether it is a success or a failure, is an opportunity for growth. In this way, letting go is not a form of giving up, but rather a path to embracing the fullness of life without being held back by fear or attachment. Thank you for watching this video. If you have found value in learning how to let go and cultivate true wisdom, please share your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe to support the channel. May the practice of letting go bring you greater peace, freedom, and clarity on your path to true wisdom.